When Meghan Markle walked onto the set that day, everyone expected grace and charm. Instead, what they got was tension and a rule. No one was to call her Meghan Markle, not the Duchess of Sussex, not even Meghan. She was to be addressed strictly as Meghan Sussex. And it wasn't a polite request, it was an order. According to multiple crew members, anyone who slipped up was corrected on the spot, and not gently. For a team known for warmth and kindness, the vibe turned icy almost instantly. You could feel the air tighten. Then Meghan arrived. No smile, no greeting, no eye contact. She moved through the studio like she was gliding above it, as if the camera operators and sound engineers were invisible. And then action. The red light blinked on, and everything changed. Suddenly, Meghan was soft-spoken, glowing, and full of affection. She praised Drew Barrymore. She gushed about the show. She even joked that she's like an octopus, always needing connection and affection. The irony wasn't lost on anyone, because just moments earlier, she'd ignored the very people making that connection possible. Word reached Drew quickly, and for someone like her, who's built a decades-long reputation as one of Hollywood's kindest souls, that didn't sit right. Sources say Drew confronted Meghan backstage. No fake smiles, no sugarcoating, just a calm but firm reminder. We don't treat people like that here. Minutes later, both women sat down for what appeared to be a flawless, heartwarming interview. On camera, it was perfect. Off camera, it was frost and silence. Meghan spoke about motherhood, kindness, and friendship, about sending thoughtful gifts and connecting with women like old college friends. It was everything her brand stands for, except that everyone in the room had just witnessed the opposite. The contradiction was too sharp to ignore. When word leaked out, it spread like wildfire. Social media lit up with outrage, not about what she said, but how she acted. Viewers weren't talking about her parenting stories anymore. They were talking about hypocrisy. Drew's production team had to scramble. Comments were locked. Posts were hidden. What should have been a sweet daytime talk show moment turned into a full-blown PR disaster. Then came the whispers, not just from Drew's crew, but from stylists, assistants, and industry veterans who'd worked with Meghan before. One longtime stylist said the atmosphere that day was the coldest it's ever been. And this was a studio that had hosted everyone from A-listers to controversy magnets. But Meghan's presence, they said, shut the warmth down completely. Even seasoned sound engineers, people used to celebrity meltdowns and tight schedules, left that day deflated. One of them summed it up perfectly. It's not what she said. It's what she didn't say. No hello, no thank you, nothing. And soon old stories started resurfacing. A makeup artist recalled Meghan once asking to be addressed as Madame on set, a claim that once sounded exaggerated but now didn't feel so far-fetched. What looked like an isolated diva moment started to feel like a pattern, a behavior that followed her from London to Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Drew Barrymore, a woman who's rebuilt her entire career on empathy and second chances, took it personally. Her brand is warmth. Her show is kindness. And Meghan's cold energy felt like a blizzard in the middle of a summer picnic. Even the audience could feel it. Something about that interview seemed too polished, too practiced, too robotic, and the internet noticed. Clips of Meghan's glowing interview were spliced with backstage reports, creating brutal side-by-side comparisons. On TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, it became a trend. The Sussex switch, Meghan's warm on-camera, cold off-camera persona. As the parodies piled up, Meghan's team stayed silent. No response, no clarification, and that silence spoke louder than any statement could. Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders were paying attention, and not in a good way. In this town, reputations aren't destroyed by tabloids. They're destroyed by crew gossip. When producers hear that a guest treats staff poorly, it spreads. One sound tech tells a friend. That friend tells a producer. and suddenly your name quietly disappears from the next guest list. A senior exec reportedly said, "If we want drama, we'll book someone who brings ratings, not attitude." That's the kind of feedback no star wants to hear, because in Hollywood, charm is currency, and when you run out of it, the phone stops ringing. Within weeks, producers began second-guessing future bookings. Meghan's once coveted brand of elegance and empowerment started to feel like a performance, a scripted version of authenticity that people weren't buying anymore. Interns, assistants, stylists, the invisible backbone of every production, began sharing their own quiet experiences. Not to attack her, but to tell the truth. She wasn't cruel, she was cold, and in a business built on relationships, that's enough to sink you. Soon, social media was flooded with comedy skits mocking her dual persona, the smiling interviewee followed by silent walks past crew members. Late-night shows slipped in jokes. Fans who once defended her through royal scandals and media storms started questioning everything. And still, silence from Meghan's camp. For someone who speaks so often about kindness, compassion, and emotional intelligence, her refusal to address the incident felt like the loudest contradiction of all. Meanwhile, Drew didn't say a word publicly. She didn't need to. Her reputation spoke for itself. Kindness, loyalty, authenticity. While Meghan's brand of controlled perfection crumbled, Drew's authenticity only grew stronger. The fallout for Meghan wasn't explosive. It was slow, quiet, and painfully revealing. Fewer calls, softer offers, hesitant executives, and that dreaded Hollywood phrase whispered behind closed doors, "She's complicated." In the end, it wasn't the British tabloids, the royal family, or the media that hurt Meghan most. It was something far simpler, forgetting to treat people like people. Because in Hollywood, respect isn't earned with titles. It's earned by how you treat the person holding your mic. Recent update. In early October 2025, reports surfaced that Meghan's upcoming media appearances were being re-evaluated by producers following ongoing image concerns. Her team, according to sources, is now focusing on a full rebrand, one built on reconnection and humility. Whether that will be enough to rebuild trust remains to be seen.